Hello, Miss Golden Girl. And I had my interview with Publix for the deli position. I thought my interview went well. I went in there, I was prepared, and I shared with the department manager my qualifications for the job. I shared that I am open to any schedule. And I had looked online and researched the company, and I saw, this is what I posted here, what they offer part-time employees. Well, let's talk about my interview with Publix for the deli department. I thought my interview went well, and I just have to wait and see if this is what God had for me. I went in, I met with the department manager. I shared my qualifications for the job. My resume is 2 pages, and I tried to set it up chronologically. And so some of my work experience that qualified me for the job is not on the resume. But what I did, I had listed out so I could verbalize this with the department manager, positions that I've worked that qualified me. And I like to say, number 1 on my list was working with honey baked ham. I've shared with you my posting that I worked at Honey Baked Ham. It was a holiday seasonal position this past Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I earned a honey baked ham each time for that position. So that was number 1 on my list. I shared my work experience at Mayfield Dairy, where I was a greeter in the visitor center, where I assisted the visitors in the retail shop and the ice cream parlor, and I gave tours of the factory. I shared my work experience with Applied Resources Tall Grass Talent Group, where I was a store demonstrator, and I had to have my food handling permit for that. And so I had went online, took my own initiative, and got another food handling certificate, and it's good for 3 years. And I shared with the store manager, I already have that food handler certificate. So I've had the training on how to handle food safely to avoid, any illnesses. Also, I shared with the manager, I had printed out a picture, and I had of it in this posting of the coffee setup that we provided in my job as a night auditor in Colorado at the Peaks. We set up a coffee station from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. for our early risers guests before the coffee shop opened and before the restaurant opened. And I took great pride in going beyond what was required of me to make that coffee setup station to be very appealing to our hotel guests. So I shared that picture. I shared, with the department manager that I've had training in handling food. I have my food safety certificate. I shared my work experience with Target. One holiday season, I worked a seasonal floor team cashier at Target. I shared my work experience with Fairway Market in Skagway, Alaska, where I worked as a grocery stocker. So I feel like I demonstrated to the department manager how I would be an asset to her team. I had done some research about Publix many, many years ago. It's a good company to work for, but I even, researched it again, and pretty much the employees start out as part-time. And when I had gone in to introduce myself, I was told that, to get a full-time position, that's like a promotion. So they start you as a part-time employee. So the department manager explained to me that she has a staff of 21 and that the full-time people are the department manager, the assistant manager, and then there's 4 full-time staff. So that's a total of 6 positions that's full-time out of the 21. So the remaining staff, 15, I subtracted 6 from the 21, would be part-time employees. So part-time employees, they get benefits, and the benefits that they get would work well for me. I asked her that what would be the benefit of a full-time employee over a part-time employee, and she shared that more PTO. She shared that a part-time employee gets 16 hours of PTO a year, but a part-time employee is able to request time off as long as they, do it in a timely manner. And that needs to be done about 2 weeks out. So she shared there's not a problem usually for the part-time employee to get their requests approved, as long as you submit it in a timely manner. So for me, what I was trying to fix in my mind is I could be satisfied with a part-time position because I still would get to participate after a certain amount of time in the stock program. Publix is owned by their employees. And then I would get to participate in the 401k after a certain amount of time. And I'm happy for the 16 hours of PTO. I don't need health insurance, which that would be a benefit, for employees. Because, I've got my health insurance. I got my health insurance. I have, through my pension, I have health insurance. And then, I have, so I'm good for health insurance. Life insurance, I got my own life insurance. But if they would offer me life insurance, if I would get the job, I would take it. But I'm excited about, I think I can do this job. And I hope I got that across to her that I would be a good team player, for her team. I shared with her, she asked me what I liked about Publix. And what I liked about Publix, they list that they are for inclusion. And so, and I shared with her, I like that I shop at Publix and I see that they do hire senior citizens, and so to me, that's not a problem with my age to get a job there. So that's what I liked about Publix. And that's what I shared with her when I was asked that question. So she said that, I was shown around and everything, and I stress that, I'm a hard worker. I'm very detail oriented. I'm very observant. So, and I like to be busy. So I'm going to work my shift. I need to have something to do during my whole shift. And so that seemed like that would be good. There's certain areas that could keep me busy. And so I'll keep you posted. But I felt like I had the qualifications for the job, and I'm open to any schedule. I'm open to any schedule. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited about it from the standpoint I would be able to get in the 401k program. I saw online it said 90 days, but she thought it was maybe a year. And a lot of companies now, you are not eligible to join the 401k until after a year. So, but I'm interested in investing again. I shared with you on a previous post, I saw some information and I researched it that I could select some for my portfolio of the 401k bonds and money market with very low risk, because my thing is I'm about savings. At my age, anything I save, I want it to stay there. I want the principal to be there. I don't mind how little interest or how little it may grow. I just don't want it to shrink, So that's where I am in life. I've exhausted my retirement accounts from before, that I had contributed to. And so now, this stage of my life, I'm about saving. But I would get into the 401k. And I've already planned that I would contribute about 15% of my salary. And then I should definitely, with 15%, be able to get any match that Publix would make. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait until next week to see if I hear from that store. If I don't, I have 2 other stores which I had put on my application, and then I'm going to go to each one of them and introduce myself and see if I can get an interview with them. But I would really love to work for Publix, so I'm going to keep on pursuing this. I'm going to keep on pursuing it. And the deli is a good place for me. So at least I know what department to, that would be good for me now. All right. I'll keep you posted. I'm looking for work. And it is work looking for work. But it's okay. It's okay. I have sort of talked myself through it that it may take some months for me to find this job, and just be patient. Don't get discouraged. Be uplifted and be motivated, and just put the work and effort in to find work. And what God has for me will be for me. I always say that. I always say, I'm not concerned about a job, because God has given me previous jobs, and He will continue to give me more jobs. All right. Until next time, take care. God bless. Bye.